Okay, now what? I'm gonna make Louise a little more efficient and responsive maybe. This is a carb that was on it, the Edelbrock 1407, 750 CFM. 4-barrel. We are going with a Edelbrock AVS2. It's an 800 CFM. I didn't go up in size on purpose, that's all they had. So what's the difference? Okay, this carb is basically the Carter AFB aluminum 4-barrel. This is basically the Carter AVS carb that they made a few years after this one and continued to produce it. I don't know how long, until they went out of business, I suppose. So what's the difference? Why is this carb better than this carb? All right, first of all, this carburetor on the primary side has the boosters are right there and right there. It's basically just a pipe that sticks out into the air. Vacuum goes through, draws fuel through. Downleg booster, okay. The AVS that Carter's or Edelbrock's come out with has a annular boosters there and there, the red things. They have 8 holes around there that are going to allow fuel to atomize better as it goes down into the carb. The AFB carb has a weighted door underneath of here for the secondaries that opens up when a certain amount of air blows through. The AVS carb, the air valve secondary carb, is adjustable, and you can dial in where your secondaries will open up. I think I'm not pulling the right one here. Okay, it's spring loaded. So better throttle response, and then you get the rest of the fuel when you want it in. So yeah, 2 things have happened that why I'm changing carbs. This one I could have made work just fine. 2 things happened, like I said. I didn't get a 1971 GTX, so I got my money back for that. And I'm keeping Louise. So if I'm keeping her, she's getting a little better stuff. So bottom line is I have a couple dollars extra in my pocket to spend on something like that. So yeah, here we go. All right, there she is on the car. I left the rag under here. I don't know why it would leak, but you know how things go. This Bill Hirsch paint does not like solvents like gasoline. You'd think at least hold up to that, but that's all right. We'll just do our best here. We'll give her see if she wants to start. Carb was empty. I don't know if the carb's making that much noise just because I got the air cleaner off or what. I do not have any fuel leaks, but certainly sounds different, and certainly, of course, it backfired because I have no choke. I'm going to close it a little bit, see if it likes that a little better. She makes a lot of noise. I got the mixture screws back out at 1.5 turns. See if we get her idling. is one loud carb. Anyway, you do a little tuning, let it warm up and see what happens from there. And I'm gonna take it for a ride up the road. I got a 50-mile loop I can take that gets on the interstate and gets off the interstate. And I can fuel and then refuel and see exactly what kind of mileage I got. I got just under 13 with that other carb running right at 70, which is about 2,900 RPM. Well, there she is warming up, sounding a whole lot better. Yeah, that sounded like a massive air leak, you know, vacuum leak. Wasn't the intake. It's the back of these carbs. They got a massive hole in the back, right? I forgot, didn't have the plug in it, so yeah. We'll warm her up and see what happens, see if I can, the idle adjustment makes any difference. Of course, the big proof of the pudding is taking it for a ride, looking at spark plugs later. All right, guys, just topped her off, 5.5 gallons. We're gonna make our 50-mile round trip, come back and see what she takes. This new carburetor. All right, new carb. Went down a little. This carb is I'm thinking is a little richer out of the box, certainly than that other one. So yeah, I went 47 miles, 3.7 gallons, 12.7 mpg. And the other, before with the other carb, I was just 12.9 roughly, and that's at 70 miles an hour, around about 2,900 RPM. So yeah, I was hoping closer to 15. I think my exhaust manifolds, bad headers, it would help, I'm sure. I lost probably, I hate to admit it, but probably 30 horse with this deal. So anyway, yeah. Not terrible, not great. I guess, what do you want? Horsepower cost money, and this one's costing me gasoline, although this gas station's 10 cents a gallon cheaper. Anyway, all right. Okay, so 12.7. I kind of figured the mileage might go down because that other carb was running fairly lean. Was leaner. And talked to Joe, the engine builder, asked about the plugs. I have to have a higher heat range in this engine because of the compression, so that they'll stay. They're gapped. I haven't checked the gap, but he gaps them about 35, I think, for this thing, 30, 35. Yeah, so I think she's pretty tuned, fairly well tuned. I fooled with the ignition or the distributor. And you always got to set the initial timing, so when she's sitting there idling, this thing runs at 18 before top dead center. And as things move along, it goes up to, I got a 36 before top or dead center is where it fires. I did use these Pertronics. This is just the coil here. So the way you do that, it should be quite simple. These are the advance, whatever you want to call them, stops. So when it spins, the weights open up and it advances your distributor timing. So you would put a 10 and a 10, so it would just advance at 20 degrees. So, or there's 2 8s and there's 2 6s. Then the springs control how fast it advances. Well, when Joe was doing the engine, everything was fully advanced at 3,500 RPM because we're doing full power pulls. These are the heavy springs, medium and light. Well, I cruise at 2,900 RPM at 70, so I wasn't even at full advance, right? So I had to play with it. I wanted 18 and 36, so you think you would do a 10 and an 8, is that right? To get 18 more, you guys, 36, yeah. But I didn't. And not only that, but I had to do different springs too. I couldn't just use the light springs. They started coming in at 1,800 and it was all in by 22. It was a little earlier than I wanted. It wasn't even 2,200, it was even sooner. So I mixed these up. Pertronics says, yeah, we don't have a chart for you to go by, but yeah, that's what you do. So yeah, it was a lot of fooling around. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys.